Servus. In this video, I would like to talk about the Hoenn Gaiden UU survey regarding a tour that I'm hosting. I will host a Generation 3 Hoenn Gaiden UU tournament, and the tea is really fresh, and it isn't explored really much. And the purpose of this tour is to explore it. However, we don't want the meta to be centralized. Or like we figured that there are some Pokemon that are too centralizing or too oppressive, and we wanted to ask the community that are partaking in the tournament if they want to ban some of them or not. And I'd like to share my thoughts on them and maybe show and hold on. My bad. And give my reasoning to why in this case, why I want to ban Raiko, or why I don't want to ban some of the other guys. To be honest, I'm recording this on Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday, isn't it? And the survey ends on Friday, so I will probably get this up on Wednesday, this video. And my opinions might change, but I want to share my initial thoughts on some of the Pokemon. First, let me get a quick introduction on Hoenn Gaiden. Hoenn Gaiden is a pet mod, and it focuses on Generation 3 overuse and adds stuff from future generations like moves, items, abilities, what else, and most importantly, Pokemon. And therefore, we will have and therefore the metagame is different by nature because of these elements. Now, some of the additions are stayed in OU and they shaped the OU tier quite a bit, but some of them fell down to UU. They weren't as viable as in OU and therefore they fail. And to show you, hold on, we can go to Hoenn Gaiden OU. Where is it here? And look at it here. This the tier is split in ranks, and here are some of the new Pokemon. All of those are in OU, and everything here, including where is it? Where's Fortress? Here. Everything, including Fortress, my bad, will be UU. So everything C3 and below is UU, and everything in C2 except for Fortress, Entei, and yeah, except for Fortress and Entei. Those two are in OU. And I think Heracross, but I'm not sure. Yeah, and Heracross is also OU, my bad. And yeah, here we have UU, and as you can see, there are many Pokemon here. And yeah, so it might be a bit, unclear what Pokemon are good and what not. Generally, spikes, rapid spin, you should always keep them in your team. A speed control, a wall breaker, some defensive Pokemon. Like, there are so many options to choose from, and I don't think that there are currently any right or wrong options. Like, yes, there are some Pokemon that are objectively better than others. Like, why use Espeon, for example, when you have Alakazam, who is a much better Pokemon than Espeon? Like, sure, Espeon has some advantages. It has Baton Pass and so on, but Alakazam is just better. But like I said in the beginning, I will focus on some Pokemon, more specifically those from the survey. And the first one is Raikou. So Raikou. Raikou is pretty infamous in ADV in general because it has a terrifying calm mindset. Problem is in OU, it struggles to drop playing essentially 5 versus 6 because Raikou needs to stay healthy and it's Exmos as a late game sweeper, which isn't bad, but the problem is something like Dark Trio can trap it pretty easily, and you can deny it from setting up too many commands or substitute with chip damage like Spikes and Sandstorm. Now the thing is, there is no Sandstorm here, and we have Spikes, and our Spike sets are amazingly good, but Raikou beats almost all of them. Like if you look here, Spikes, we have hold on. We have Cacturn, Chestnut, Glalie. Like there are water types and there are grass types, and there are also some ground types, which is yeah, you'd say it's pretty manageable, especially for ground and grass types to check Raikou. But the thing is, Raikou often runs HPIs, and I think personally HPIs is the best option here that you can run. But there are also other options like HP Grass is nice for Lantern, or HP Water to hit Steelix, and Smarak Alola, who otherwise hard counters you. And it checks you pretty well with Boomerang, which hits 2 times, so it breaks subs and hits you again. So yeah, but you can also run just grass. Like the thing with Steelix is you can either trap Steelix or chip it continuously. And since there's no Sandstorm, you can just heal with leftovers. You can even heal Spikes damage with leftovers. And you can run a crunch instead of substitute. Now the thing with Raikou is decently bulky. Like it has decent bulk. It's fast, it's strong. So it means that you first off get opportunities to set a substitute thanks to your speed, and thanks to your bulk, you can command pretty easily. Like I think the only drawback of Raikou is first off the hidden power debate, because that's a admittedly huge problem of it, but also that it can run modest because there's a Dark Trio Alola here. Also, don't ask why, but during Haven has a bug where some alternate forms show different Pokemon. But trust me, this is Dark Trio Alola. And it has Arena Trap. The problem is just it's slower. And this speed here really matters. Oh, sorry, you can see it. This speed tier here 110 really matters because Dark Trio has 120, and if you look here, there are some significant Pokemon you miss out on, like as I mentioned, Raikou, but also Espeon. And you speed up with Espeon and Raichu, Tauros. But the thing is, like, you rather trap them and not risk it on a 50-50. And Raikou is the most significant one here. And yeah, since it can outspeed Raikou, Raikou can easily beat it, even with that steel typing, making it neutral to grass and ice. But yeah. Now the thing is, you could say yeah, the HP grass thing is a pretty big. The HP dilemma is a pretty big problem for it, and admittedly, I can see that point because something like Lantern. Like the thing is, Lantern counters everything that's not HP Ice, HP Grass, my bad. Silix counters everything that's not HP Water, and Dragons counter everything that's not HP Ice. Something like Gastly, for example, or Dragalge. The problem is just all of these Pokemon are grounded Pokemon, so they take damage from spikes. And I don't want to say too much because, like I said, the meta is pretty underexplored. But Chestnut seems to be a pretty solid spike setter with rough skin and spiky shield. And its typing, it beats almost every rapid spinner. Like if you go to rapid spin, um, Like the only ones it struggles against are Creamy because of the poison, because of Sludge Rift poison. If it wasn't for Sludge Rift poison, Chestnut could probably beat it. Cryogonal because of self-explanatory, and Torkoal, who's fire type, good defense, and has body press and flamethrower, so Chestnut can do much against it. But the thing with Torkoal, admittedly, is that Torkoal doesn't like to run Rapid Spin. It rather runs Iron Defense or Toxic alongside a Fire Step, Body Press, and Slack Off. But the option is still there, and Jump Off can also deal with Chestnut. So yeah. But yeah, Chestnut is a pretty good Spike setter, and it has a pretty good matchup against Spike against Rapid Spinners. Therefore, Spike stacking is pretty common, I would say, and all of these checks get checked pretty hard by them. Like even only from one layer of spikes, even if your lantern resists HP ice or HP water or crunch. Okay, it doesn't resist crunch, but it can take a crunch. Like let's say Raikou does that, then you're getting chipped repeatedly and you don't have a way to heal yourself other than leftovers. And yes, healing with leftovers is nice here, but like I said, there are also other sorts of chip damage. Like there's still snow warning here. Oh yeah, we added a Barmer Snow, so we have Snover here as well, and I will get to Snover later, but there is technically a weather that you can run, and so healing with leftovers might also not be as everything as easy as it might seem. And also the thing is, it's just a guessing game, and that's probably the biggest issue with it. Like it can run 3 hidden powers reliably. And the thing is, let's say you have a team that has Lantern and it doesn't fit Guzzlord or Steelix in there. So your only check is Lantern. Your only way to check is Lantern. And if you switch in Lantern, either you resist its stabs, its moves, sorry, or you get blown by hidden power grass. And that's an issue in my opinion, because like yes, Lantern checks it, but only this one set or this one coverage option. And if you don't have anything else to check it, then yeah, there goes it. Also, Isamaric Alola is a hard, okay, I would say a hard counter honestly, because it's hard. It's immune to Thunderbolt. It resists Ice and Grass, which are the best in power types. And Crunch is admittedly nice, but you rather run Substitute on Raikou. And hold on, I will adjust the things a little bit. It's a bit too small. But the thing with Merrick Alola is, and you can see it, it runs the Thick Club. So therefore, it cannot run a leftovers. So it gets chipped by spikes even harder. And even though, yes, snow warning exists, but let's say snow warning will get banned and you can heal with leftovers. Maracalola still does not do that. It gets chipped and it gets chipped hard. And if Raikou is crunch, yeah, forget it. Your Maracalola does nothing. And that's like the biggest issue. And the thing is, like, those Pokemon not do not fit on the same team. Like Lantern can fit on Stall, and I'd say that Gaslight also and that Steelix also fits on Stall or like Balance. But the thing is, like, Alola doesn't fit on there as well as you'd like. And honestly, I don't know what to do with Gaslight. Gaslight isn't bad, but I don't know. I don't have a niche for it except for be tanky and tank hits. But yeah, my main issue with Raikou boils down to it has its checks. It's strong, it has its checks, but the thing is, those checks might not be on every team, and if they are on a team, they are not paired together. So there's only like one, maybe two Waiko checks, and it becomes a guessing game if you only have one Waiko check. And you could say, yeah, well, you can just run two Waiko checks. You can run Lantern as a special defense Pokemon and Steelix as a physical defense Pokemon. Yeah, but the thing is, you are running two Pokemon that are slow, weak to Earthquake, get blown away by grass types, and like they cannot beat something like Chestnut at all. They have to rely on status, which admittedly is nice, but there are a lot of Heber users in the tier, like a lot. If I go, hold on, if I go here, you have a lot of them, like Ampharos, Artaria, Chansey, Drag. I will get to Dragonite, but Granbull, Glaceon, Leafeon, Lopunny, Miltank, like there are a lot of Pokemon like this. So yeah, I would ban it because it has its checks are inconsistent. They get chipped pretty hard, and running a lot of them on the same team forces to cores that are not easily exploitable. Like don't get me wrong, Steelix and Lantern can be a really solid core, but like they share common weaknesses, and I wouldn't run both of them on the same team just to check one Pokemon that's honestly stupid on its own. So yeah, that's why I won't quick ban on it, and I don't have to change the scene. That's nice. Moving on, we get to Dragonite. Dragonite is a great Pokemon. First off, Inner Focus is wrong here. Uh, I mean, it's right in the sense that it blocks Flinch, but it also blocks Intimidate. So one form of counterplay is immediately out of the window. The thing with Dragonite is, I said that there's no weather outside of snow warning, which might get banned, but if it doesn't get banned, it's still on a weak Pokemon, so you're making your team worse just by running weather. So let's say there's no weather here. You have a Spikes immune Pokemon that can heal. It doesn't have Soft Void anymore, which is nice admittedly, but it's still fast. Okay, it's not fast, but it's bulky and strong, and it can make itself worse with Drain Dance, yeah, and agility, but Drain Dance is better, except if you're running a special attacking set. One set that I built but haven't tested yet is this. It's a especially mixed set, which runs enough speed for Scizor, for Jolly Scizor, and yeah. Um, the thing, I don't want to say that this is the best set, but um, there are a lot of Dragonite sets, and it's honestly a pretty strong Pokemon. Like the thing is, Dragonite does have weaknesses. Like Ice is a pretty severe weakness. It hates status if it doesn't run Hebel, which it can, by the way. It hates status like everything. Paralysis, burn, toxic, it hates all of them. But the thing is, even if it's going to be KO'd in 3 turns, it can still take one or two Pokemon with it. Like HP Flying and Earthquake have really good coverage. Like I don't believe there's any Pokemon that resists both, right? Levitate. Levitate. Okay, Electros. Lunaton, Minun, Solrock, tank it, admittedly. Okay, they tank it, but the problem with them is Electros is honestly, I don't think it's a good Pokemon here, and even then, it's not a defensive Pokemon. And okay, Lunaton is pretty weak on the physical side, so you're running Solrock. But the thing with Solrock is it's also not good, admittedly. Like, it's good in regular ADV UU, but the thing is here, there are a lot of Pokemon, a lot of physical attackers also that are pretty threatened by it. Like, if you look at the list here, we have, okay, admittedly, all of these three, all of these may get banned, but yeah. But yeah, we have Scizor, we have Rhydon who has Mold Breaker, Scizor, Ursaring, like all of them, and Gyarados, and all of them can threaten Solrock. And Minun doesn't take any hits. So yeah. And the thing is, like with Solrock, it can check the physical variance, but what do you do about the special one who has Hydro Pump or let's say Surf? So that you can actually hit the fucking move. And this is also one thing. You have a strong stab for something like Chansey. You have Steelix coverage. You have Scissor coverage. And okay, I will admit I don't know why I put Thunderbolt in here. I'm probably missing something that gets hit by it. Although you could also run Ice. No, I think Ice Beam is better for other dragons or Dragon Claw. But yeah. The thing is, like, it can run these two sets pretty well, but it can also mix and mash. Like, it can go. I also built this set once. Dragon Dance. I had Fly on it originally, but there's no reason to run Fly if there's HP Flying. Even for leftovers recovery, HP Flying is just better. What's Dragon Dance? Heal Bell, and then Sub or Protect, but I think Protect is better. And yeah, you go max attack, max HP, or you can run especially defensive, something like this. And yeah, like you can run defensive, you can run offensive. Dragon Dance is a nightmare, and the thing is, Dragon Dance is the most popular set. So you have to be prepared for this set in particular. And if your opponent runs a mixed attacker, then yeah, your Solrock fucking dies to a Surf or a Hydro Pump. Now you could argue, yeah, but you're running a mixed Dragonite, and this has different checks. And yes, you're right. A mixed Dragonite has different checks, like physical attackers, physically defensive Pokemon become more viable at tanking in Power Flying. But the problem is something like Surf, Fire Blast, or Hydro Pump isn't restricted on mix. You can replace E-Speed with Hydro Pump, for example, and hit Steelix, hit Scizor harder. Although I think Earthquake might actually hit harder. Or you can run Fire Blast for that. Although no, Fire Blast might actually be better for Steelix also. But yeah, the point remains. You can customize your Dragonite to whatever you like and it will still work. Like the thing is, in a former iteration of UU where Dragonite had Soft Boiled, it was even more oppressive because it can actually stay alive for eternity. But yeah. So yeah. And the thing is, like, Dragonite is just a not really fun Pokemon to play against. Especially in a less power creep meta. Like, think about it. The only reason why Dragonite isn't good in OU is because of Salamence. Like, Salamence is an objectively better Pokemon than Dragonite. And Dragonite is obviously still a pretty good Pokemon, but it can't hold a candle to Salamence, and therefore it's here in UU, which where it exactly is Salamence. Like Dragonite plays Salamence better than Salamence plays Salamence in OU, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's why I'm voting ban on Dragon Knights. Next one is Scissor, and I'm kind of torn on this. I voted no ban, but I can see ban arguments for it. First off, really good defensive typing, good stats, it has pretty solid bulk. Only one weakness, so Pokemon, if they want to deal with Scizor, they have to run HP Fire. And Scizor has a new step in Lunge, which first doesn't take the hidden power slot, thus allowing you to run a different hidden power, and also not have to deal with hidden power stat drops. Um, it can boost. It cannot boost a stat boost again, like anymore, because baton pass got changed to the point where positive stat boosts are reset upon using the move. So agility pass or something like that doesn't work, but it also gained knockoff, which is already one of the bad arguments, and also has Morning Sun. And in a tier, again, let's pretend snow warning doesn't exist for the moment. In a tier where there's no weather, you can heal a lot with Morning Sun. And let's say um, you face a Sunflora who in theory can threaten you, but you're much faster and you have a step to beat Sun. For the uninitiated, Sunflora has Desolate Land. So you can theoretically heal against Sunflora as it's I don't know, goes for anything except for Weather Ball. If it goes for Weather Ball, you're fucked. But yeah, Scissor's pretty good. This is a specially defensive variant that you can run, or physically defensive, your choice. You could also run Sword Stance, like something like Quick Attack, Sword Stance, Morning Sun on a bulky variant with a bit speed, maybe. These are just random numbers. I don't know what is the ideal speed. Maybe something like this. Yeah. Uh, you can run offensive Sword Stance with 3 attacks. Um. Oh, I was play Sword Stance with something like HP Ground. Or you could run a choice band set with Baton Pass and pivot out. Now, the thing with Scissor is, on one hand, yes, it's quite problematic because, oh yeah, there's also Select Berry Reversal and also a Swarm, and Launch Swarm is pretty nutty, not gonna lie. So Sword Stance and Substitute or Agility. But I think Sword Stance is the better option here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That works. So yeah. The thing with Scissor is, yes, it's pretty strong. Yes, it does a lot of damage. Yes, it is versatile. But I think that counterplay isn't unreasonable. Like you have Arcanine, Blaziken, Charizard, um, Instant isn't too good against it in the mid, and Torkoal, which are all great, or good at least. And yes, the thing is, Arcanine, Blaziken gets blown away by Hidden Power Ground, but Arcanine has Intimidate. Um, Charizard forces it to run HP Rock, which makes it worse against Steel types, and Torkoal is just a nightmare for Scizor, honestly. There's also the thing that okay, this goes into a broken chicks broken territory here, but I don't think that but the thing is, Scizor isn't as broken as some other Pokemon, and here we go to the psychic types. There are a lot of psychic types, good psychic types here. Alakazam, okay, it doesn't check Articuno that well because it's physically bulky, but it can threaten Alakazam with Quick Attack, Gardevoir with Quick Attack, Grumpig and Hypno with Lunge, Jinx with Quick Attack, Slowbro with Quick Attack, and not with Quick Attack with Lunge, and so on. Like the thing is, it's in a spot where it can be broken, but it's not broken. Okay, hold on. How do I put it? Um, the thing with Scizor is, it's good. It's really good. And it's a pretty good check to a lot of Pokemon. And some of them, on some of those Pokemon are actually broken, in my opinion, that we didn't include here, like Grumpig, for example. But the thing is, I wouldn't say it goes over the edge. Like counterplay for Scizor is pretty manageable. Like I mentioned fire types, but there are obviously others too, like steel types, for example. Icon is not as good, admittedly, but Magneton, Mawile, we have Registeel, Opposing Scizor, Steelix, and Stunfisk Galar. Like there are also more Pokemon like All Cream. Like let's go to poison types. All Creamy is also there. Granted, All Creamy doesn't do much against it either, but All Creamy has Rapid Spin. So yeah, we have the Nidos, especially Nidoqueen, who now has recovery, so she isn't as outclassed by Nidoking as she would be. So yeah, I think it's hard to justify Scizor being broken, but lately I've seen more good arguments for it being broken. So my opinion on it can change, but I honestly don't think it will. So yeah. Um, Next one is Slaking. And Slaking, you might think, oh, it has Truant, it's shit. And yeah, to an extent, it's shit. But the thing is, it's like the ultimate, it's like the ultimate one for one Pokemon in the tier. Like it can get a KO, and if it survives a hit from your opponent, which isn't unreasonable because it has pretty good physical bulk, and the HP kind of sets off the special defense. Not by much, but it can also tank a few special hits. Alright, sorry for that. I had to pause the video for a bit. But yeah, the thing is, Slaking can tank hits. So you could theoretically switch it out and get it on the field again to throw out another hit. And the thing with Hyper Beam is, thanks to Truant, Hyper Beam effectively has no drawback. So yeah. Yeah, this Pokemon, it's prediction reliant. Truant Till fucking sucks. But the damage output is just ridiculous. And also you could theoretically run Slack off here and keep your Slacking healthy. Like let's say your opponent does a double switch and they could in theory take out your Slaking. You could just click Slack off, take a hit, switch out, come back in and fire off a Hyper Beam. So yeah. And the thing is like stacking is just a full package. Power, bulk, speed. Yes, Truant fucking sucks. But the thing is Tru- Druid makes it just less effective in what he's like. His purpose is to be fast, strong, and take hits. And Truant prevents him from being too much of that. But what he already is too much, if that makes sense. And therefore, I vote ban for Slaking, and that will probably not change. Like thus far, I think the only ones I would change is maybe Scizor, but yeah. Next we have McMortar, and I believe it was the strongest immediate fire type, right? Yeah. It's the strongest fire type. It's stronger than Blaziken and also faster. So there's that. It doesn't have fighting step and it's cross drop, but I think it's cross drop still to hit chaos chance. I don't know. But like the thing is, you can run Expert Bird, Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, and a lot of fire types have this issue. They run Fire Blast, HP Grass, and that's most of their coverage. And they can't hit other fire types. Thing with Magmotus, you have Fire Blast, T-Bolt, you can run HP Grass and EQ. Or you can run something different than HP Grass, like Cross Drop for Chansey potentially. Or I believe Focus Punch is better in that case. Like the thing is, you just need these three moves. The last move slot can be anything. Like let's go to status. You could, okay, admittedly there's not much here, but you can run Toxic. You can here run any HP, or you could run something like this Sugarberry to tank a hit from Duck Trio. I honestly don't know if you need let me go magma here. I don't know how much bulk you need there. Let me check pretty fast. Health base power. Oh, okay, perfect. It takes an earthquake just fine without any bulk investment. Okay, granted it has to run my special defense. So yeah, I might still want to cork that honestly. I gave it mild. Yeah, okay, honestly, I don't think that might was that valuable. I think something like this. Like the thing is, it can take an earthquake that's weakened by Sugar Berry just fine. You don't need any bulk investment. So you can trap um Duck Trio and steal an item from an opponent's Pokemon. Granted, you have to be full health for that to work. So no spikes and such, but yeah. Oh, my bad. No. So yeah, that's the issue with that. And with physical moves, you have counter, you have focus punch. You could run seismic toss if you really want to, but like you won't miss out. You won't miss out on anything. I think HP Grass or Focus Punch is the best option. But I'm thinking if HP Grass is even all that valuable because Latin is already getting hit hard by Earthquake. I think Focus Punch for Chansey is better and Expert Belt. I think this is like the best Mech Mode set. So yeah, the main gist is it's a fire type with like really good coverage. It's not as fast, which holds it back, but it's stupid strong. It can punish contact moves, which are a lot in this tier. And the thing is, like with expert, but on top of that, it's too much. Yeah, what else can be said here other than that this Pokemon is basically perfect fire type. So yeah. voting ban on it. Articuno no ban. And I think I also voted Mortis Gala no ban, and I will cover both here. Articuno the thing with Articuno is there are psychic types who like the thing with the psychic types are they go into extremes. Like Alakazam is pure offense. Espeon is also pure offense. Gardevoir is pure offense. Grumpig, Jynx is also pure offense. Grumpig, Hypno, Slowbro, Slow King, they are defense. And the thing with Articuno Galar is it's in the middle. It's strong, not that strong. It's offensive, but not that offensive as the others. It's bulky, but not as bulky as the others. And the thing is, it's kind of in this in between. But I think it's hard to justify banning Articuno Galar when there's something like Grumpig or Slowbro or Alakazam still in the tier, who serve the role of a Calm Minder much better than Articuno does, in my opinion. Like the thing with Slowbro is Slowbro already has Flamethrower, so it can run a different hidden power type, or it can run or it doesn't have to deal with the special attack drop. Alakazam has more coverage, but it's frail. Like the thing is, it has a niche among them, but I think it's really hard to justify banning this while the others are still there and might be as broken or even more broken. Like when it comes to Grumpig, for example, I think Grumpig is way more broken. Like Grumpig has thick fat, psychosis, so it already checks this Articuno Galar set. And the Articuno Galar can't do much except oh, it has heal, but I just see that now. Okay, that's nice. But yeah, okay, Articuno Galar also has hypnosis, that's also nice. But like the thing is, it cannot run hypnosis viably, and if it runs anything other than in Power Fire, then it gets trapped by Pursuit users. Speaking of Pursuit and Dark types, we have Houndoom, Incineroar, Guzzlord, who resist and the step combination Groudon to 2, and Groudon uses it as setup for the Sharpedo is faster than it because of HP Fire. Umbreon, like, okay, I don't think I need to justify why Umbreon checks Articuno Galar pretty well. Like, the thing is, it's just so hard to justify, and something like Grumpig beats it 1v1. Granted, Grumpig itself is broken, in my opinion, and I think I should have included it in the list, but can still be banned. Also, what I want to mention is, now that I remind myself of it, all of these Pokemon, if they get banned, or sorry, if they don't get banned, they can still be banned later on in tour. So yeah, so let's say Articuno Galar is way more broken than I thought, then okay, it will get banned in the second round if enough community supports there for it. So yeah, let's go to the thing with this Pokemon is that like look at this move pool. It has Pursuit, which is nice, but like it wants to be a sweeper with agility and maybe taunt, but like what does it do? It can, like the thing is, like it has pretty weak oh yeah, this coverage is pretty good, but like okay, no, if I think about it, this Pokemon is actually pretty stupid. Thanks to Taunt, it's essentially immune to status and whirlwind. It has agility, flinch. Okay, I think this Pokemon is more. Like the thing is, it can also work as a bulky attacker with Sucker Punch, and it can also trap Pokemon with Pursuit. So you could run that as an option. Other than that, it doesn't have much. But like judging from this set alone and pressure, like let's ignore taunt. Let's say it has rest, like bulky rest. It can just store defensive Pokemon. Yeah, now, okay, I think this Pokemon is more stupid than I thought. Yeah, Fiery Wave, HP Fire. Yeah, Fiery Wave is also pretty strong. And it is yeah, no, no, okay, I would change my vote on this one. This one's getting banned. Like the thing, like, yes, there are checks to it. Dark types, not Darkrai, dark types. Like, Gaslord, Incineroar, Houndoom, Crawdons, they can check it, but unlike Articuno Galar, they can't do anything against it. Okay, I haven't thought this one through. I might vote to ban it in if on Tuesday, on Friday before I close the votes. Yeah, okay, I will think about this Pokemon. But like one pro ban argument is that agility, fiery wrath, like the thing is it might not be broken, but it can also be broken. Like having something as luck be the main strategy of a Pokemon is not something that I would personally support. But like on the counter argument, like look at this move pool, it's shit. But yeah, I have to think about this one. Yeah. Surfetched. Now here's the thing with Surfetched. It's pretty similar to Scissor in a sense because they are equally okay. Surfetch is stronger, and but they both have the same speed tier. Scissor and Surfetch have the same speed tier. Thing is, Scissor is much bulkier and has a better defensive typing, but Surfetch is much more offensive. Like in a focus, no intimidate, brick break, HP ghost, and quick attack. Sword stance, full attack, special attack, full attack, speed, and leak. Sorry, not leak, stick, because it's called stick in Generation 3. And you essentially have a monster that can double its damage once and then again with the crit. Like, you can quadruple the damage you deal potentially in one turn. You at least double it, but you also at least but like you can also just quadruple it. And there we are again in the argument, luck being the main strategy of a Pokemon. Granted, this isn't the only strategy. Like you could also run agility sword stance or something like agility slash with leak. And slash will, I think, always crit. If I'm not mistaken. Okay, I have to Google this one actually. Leak, or let's say critical hit. Here. No, it's +3. So a 1 in 3 chance. Okay, it's not as much, but still it's like the least broken set of it is this set, which is choice band. It just runs quick attack and baton pass. Yeah, it also has knockoff, which is obviously good. But yeah, the thing is, just say Baton Pass and knockoff. Doesn't mind. It doesn't matter. Like the thing is, this set is the least broken in my opinion of the sets, but it still hits stupid hard. Like you can't intimidate it. It has a good step move. It has a good coverage move. It has priority, and then it can also just not risk anything and switch out. Yeah, I think this is like offensive Scizor on steroids. Like I think anything you could argue Scizor is offensively, this Pokemon does take that and makes it double. Okay, like the thing is Scizor has a better time has an easier time setting up because of its typing and its bulk. But like this thing gets more of its setup than Scizor will ever dream of. And yeah, that's why I think it should be banned. Like the thing is, you could argue something like Machamp is banned, and Machamp should get banned, and Machamp is significantly worse than Surfetch. Because the attacking prowess that is, from bulk wise, it's still better. But yeah, I think Surfetch should be banned. Now we get to the last Pokemon, and I can't actually show it, so I have to go to this scene. Snover, and yes, I would have banned on Snover, but I think in hindsight, I should have asked, should Snow Warning be banned? Because Snover itself isn't a problem, it's the ability it has. Like, Snover is a pretty bad Pokemon, I don't have to tell you. I wanted to build a team with it, and I built something like this, max HP, Spit F. It has enough speed to outrun Chansey, the Regis, Steelix, and such. It can check Lantern, spread chip damage, Replete, blah blah blah. The main idea is Snow Warning, and in Generation 3, weather is permanent. And originally, when this Pokemon was suggested for the survey, I didn't think it was broken. And in my initial vote, I didn't ban. I voted for no ban. But when I think about it, like my arguments were, a lot of people are going to try out rain dance, for example, also sunny day teams, like sun teams and rain teams, manual weather. And I thought like, okay, yeah, yeah, they can do that. And I think it's pretty possible that they will. But the thing is, like, you're just assuming that people will run weather teams. And if they don't, then Snowy gets enough value. There's also Sunflora, who has Desolate Land, so it just instantly deletes Hail. But the problem is, you have to run Sunflora. And while I like Sunflora, I don't think it's the best Pokemon to run. So the only counterplay to this Pokemon is run Sunflora, who is not the best Pokemon around there, or run exclusively Rain teams or Sun teams. And that is an issue. Like, you are just essentially forcing everyone to run a weather team just to be safe against Snover. And it's not even guaranteed that Snover will come to a game. They also might as well not come to the game, and you might have just selected a team that is unoptimized because you were expecting to face Nova. Granted, this is just saying that the Snow Warning in itself is also not pretty balanced in my opinion. Like the thing is like we already saw what Sandstorm does to a Pokemon, to a tier. And we also edited Abomasnow pretty early on, and the only reason why Abomasnow didn't outrank Tyranitar as the king is because Tyranitar on its own isn't as good of a Pokemon as Tyranitar is. And that That's why Tyranitar is still the best Pokemon. Because it not only has Sandstorm, but it's also a good Pokemon. If Abomasnow was like Tyranitar, a really good Pokemon, then we would have a debate on who's S rank or S plus rank, Tyranitar or Abomasnow. But yeah, but it's pretty unanimously agreed that Snow Warning is just a better version of Sandstream. And in this tier, we also have Snow Warning allowed. And the thing is just, it's just too oppressive in a sense. Like, the thing is, in regular ADV, almost everything runs leftovers. Some might run Lumbberry, some might run Choice Band, and Pokemon like Merrick, for example, they run their signature item. But like the thing is, in this mod, you have more. You have the resist berries and you have expert bird. These are also items that you would like to run. And I also said before that something like Raikou, um, and that Merrick Alola is a pretty, is like the best counter to Raikou you could have. But the thing is, it gets chipped by spikes and can heal those off. Now, let's imagine every Pokemon is like that. They can't heal off the damage they take. And if they run a resist berry to live a certain hit and hair ruins the calculation, then yeah, that's going to sting. So you just either chipping down checks the Pokemon further, or you're not allowing them to heal, which makes those broken Pokemon even more broken. So I think in a sense, this is probably the most important ban if we get it. Granted, if we get it, because I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it's pretty close. Let me put it this way. But yeah, I just hope that Snow Warning will get banned. And like the thing is like even the thing is like if you argue, yeah, but Snover is a bad Pokemon, it's barely going to be used, then my argument is, yeah, okay, then let's ban Snow Warning. If it's not going to be used, then why even have it? No, when it's not going to be an option, then I mean, when a lot of people don't see it as an option, why should it be an option? When it has an uncompetitive trait to it, in this case, Snow Warning, and then it should be gone. And if you're not going to miss it, then you're not going to miss it. Like, I guess you're crippling your team by running Snowball, but like the thing is, Snowball has to come in once in most matchups. Like against Rain or Sun, it might come more. But like, here's the thing: in Rain, it can theoretically check some of the Rain Pokemon. Like, it can theoretically check Kingdra and Omastar. And even if it doesn't face Rain or Sunflora or anything, let's say it rather goes uncontested, then it can still come in on a Lantern or on a defensive Pokemon like Steelix or Regirock or Registeel and click Leech Seed and Protect or what have you. And if they click Explosion, they either hit a Protect, which would be the best case scenario, or they kill your Snover, which is still a good case scenario. But it's mainly just the ability. Like, the thing is, like, if Snowball was something like Shedinja who dies of its own hail, then yeah, it's not going to be good. But like, Snova can, in theory, get a little bit of stuff out. And the thing is, like, there are no ice immunes. Like, the only immune Pokemon are ice types. And you could argue that something like Articuno and Glaceon are even broken Pokemon on their own, or something like Mr. Rhyme or Regice. Like, those Pokemon don't get chipped, they have an advantage over other Pokemon. And yes, there's also, oh yeah, that's also a point I wanted to bring up. Overcoat. Yes, we have Pokemon that have overgrowth. Like, okay, Dragalge, I'll be honest, wants to run overgrowth either way because Poison Point isn't that useful, and the immunity to Sleep Powder or Stun Spore is nice. But Grumpig wants to run Thick Fat, and Skuntank, okay, Grumpig can also run overgrowth for sleep as well, and so does Skuntank. But the thing is, like, in Skuntank's case specifically, Intimidate is so much better in most scenarios, and Grumpig is just a Pokemon who wants to sit around and tank hits. And while Overcoat might still be the better ability on it, it sometimes wants to run Thick Fat, especially if you don't have any Articuno Galar answers and it has to win a Calm Mind War. And Skuntax really rather runs. It really wants to run Intimidate. And like the thing is, you're forcing these two Pokemon to run Intimidate, just Overcoat, just because of snowballing, or like here Roselia. Overcoat Roselia is pretty good, but the thing is, it can't heal with Synthesis. So you could theoretically run Cloud 9 to use Synthesis, but you're giving up your ability to absorb Sleep Powder and Stun Spore. And one of its main niches is that it absorbs those moves. But if it can't heal as reliably in Hail and takes chip damage each turn, it might consider Cloud9. And Cloud9 is infinitively worse than Overcoat. So yeah, that is why Will wrote ban on Snova. And yeah, that's actually the list. I will be honest, I will rethink Muchuscala, but I'm pretty sure on the others. Like Raikou, Dragonite, Slaking, Magmortar, Surfetch, and Snova are my bans. Current no bans are Articuno Galar and Scizor. Muchuscala, I have to think about, but yeah. This is my list. And we only have 6 responses so far, and there are way more participants here. Or I didn't put myself in there. I have to do that. So yeah. Join Hoenn Gaiden, join the Discord server. The links are down below. If you enter the tournament, take part in the survey. This survey is not here. The survey is in a different thread. In this one here. Go take part in the survey, and yeah, have a nice one.